Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today's February 1st, evening edition number 2 on the day, taking a look at the Pacific Northwest and all the cold air aloft spinning down the coastline. This is going to continue to move in tomorrow, bringing additional rounds of showers and lower elevation snowfall potential. Look at the Kona low out across the Pacific Ocean, steering this atmospheric river into Northern California, Southern Oregon. That's going to be ongoing the next couple of days with additional systems as we go through the upcoming week, moving into Oregon. How far north will that precipitation go? We'll check out all that here in the latest model runs. Now, taking a look at what happened today, if you look at this, lightning strike, North Lake, Washington, thunder snow. How many days was I talking about that in advance? So nice little goal reached there. Again, north portion of Lake Washington. Let me know if you heard that lightning strike. I'm sure people heard it. I'd like to know what the precipitation rates were like underneath. Probably small hail, probably snow pellets, and snow associated with that. So very fun stuff there. Now, if we continue to scroll on through the day today, right now we've got a convergence zone up by Arlington that's dropping some snow that's sticking on the streets. Showers continue to move into the coastal areas here. You can see Southwest Washington. Some of the foothills are no doubt getting some snowfall. The Cascades, and look at the atmospheric river really dumping some snow across the higher terrain of Southern Oregon, Siskiyous, Klamath Range, Cascades, and down into California. And again, across some portions of Eastern Oregon and Idaho. And this will continue its trek back up across Idaho and Montana as we go over the next couple of days. We'll take a latest look in the model runs on that. So I want to play this through and let this kind of go. And we're going to back that up a little bit here so you can kind of see that curtain just moving across the Puget Sound today. You can see 3 Tree Point right there. There's Bury and Normandy Park. And this did drop snowfall that was sticking on the roads. Made it quite slick out there. But I do love these vantage points from my house. Taking a look at that. Looks like a big white curtain there swooping across the area. In fact, I'll back that up a little bit. And you can see looking up north towards Bury, and SeaTac would be to the far right there. I did speed this up a bit so you can kind of see the snow shower moving across the region. So now looking at what's going on now, we do have winter weather advisories. Tacoma, Olympia, Thurston, Pierce County, down towards Toledo, Centralia, and all the way down towards Kelso. 1 to 3 inches of snowfall is possible, and it can make things quite slick, especially in the overnight and early morning hours. Coastal areas are going to be getting some nice snows as well. We still have winter weather advisories for some of the Skagit, Whatcom County, including Bellingham and the San Juans also. And we are up over 94,160 subscribers now. Much thanks to all my channel members that are supporting this channel. It's not possible without you. And we continue to grow closer to that elusive 100,000 subscriber and number there. Okay, so taking a look at Portland, and again, just want to show you Kelso and some of the I-5 corridor near Woodland are still under that winter weather advisory for some of the showers. It could be bringing that snow level down pretty close to the surface. And again, 2 inches, pretty treacherous there. This goes through 4 a.m. on Monday, this winter weather advisory. Now, taking a look at what is going on here. For you visual learners, I've got the 500 millibar temperatures, about 18,000 feet. So look at Seattle, -32 there. Watch what happens as we go through tomorrow. You see that colder air aloft start to arrive. We're going to get a repeat of today, but even colder aloft. So better chance for some accumulating snowfall as we go through the day tomorrow. We'll go over some of that here in a moment. We're also going to be lightening up the winds as we go through tomorrow night. We're going to start to turn things out of the northeast. We'll start to usher in some cooler air. How much of that moisture will still be around is the big question as we go on in through Monday and Tuesday after that. And then what kind of system is going to be coming in off the Pacific, and what track will that storm take? Big questions yet to be answered. You can see if I scroll all the way out towards Monday, you can see the very cold air still right off our coastline there as we go through Tuesday morning. On the hot off the presses North American 3-kilometer model. And if I back this up as well, look at Seattle, -17, for example. If you go a bit north towards the border, you're at -18. Now watch what happens as we go through the day tomorrow. Again, at 10,000 feet, probably more associated with what kind of convection will be going on through the day tomorrow. You can see these temperatures aloft dropping down at 10,000 feet. And so as you can see, it's going to be even colder aloft. It'll be easier to bring some of the snowfall down towards the surface and have it accumulate all the way through Monday morning. So that's why there are some winter weather advisories still out there. And again, really many places are still under the gun. Some are more favored than others, and I'll show you that in the weather models in a bit. Now, if we take a look at the Canadian model, I'm going to scroll through this pretty quick. It's actually doing pretty well with the convergence zone up by Arlington right now. So as we scroll on in through tomorrow morning, you can see some of this showery activity. 1-2 inches there for Kitsap Peninsula, just off to the west of Olympia. Maybe, coating the ground a bit here in the Seattle Snohomish, King County line, and southwest BC starts to get rolling as we go through tomorrow night, and we start to turn these winds back out of the northeast as well. In fact, let me update that, and we'll go back to hour 29, and we'll continue our trek out here and see. And you can see some of these heavy snows across Whatcom and southwest BC there. And that's kind of an interesting feature there as we're going through tomorrow evening. You can see that right near SeaTac, a couple inches of snow as things get below freezing, quite treacherous. Kitsap Peninsula, you're looking 2, 3, 4, 5 inches maybe. And the winter weather advisories do include Tacoma and Olympia, but the Canadian isn't favoring them too much. But again, some of the I-5 corridor does have some measurable snowfall occurring. Scroll all the way out through 48 hours, which brings us out through Monday afternoon. You can kind of see the hit and miss nature here, and it doesn't take much to make things very treacherous and slick. The national blend of models, so this is a combination of many different models. And as we go on in towards, I think this is the 10-to-1 ratio. I was debating even showing this, but you can see that we do have snowfall potential as we go through the upcoming week as well. So I'm just going to kind of leave it at that and just kind of push this out in the future a little bit more. But take this with a grain of salt right now. I'm just kind of showing you what the national blended models 10-to-1 ratio snow is showing. So now back to the European 18,000 feet, about 500 millibars. This is the 18Z. It's the most recent information. And again, the polar lobe makes its closest pass as we go through the day tomorrow. Then the surface low starts to retrograde back to the west. But then we start to bring out some cooler air as we go through Sunday and Monday. The temperatures are really going to fall off. What moisture will be left? How is this upper low going to interact with the Pacific Northwest? How much moisture we'll have left to bring back over the region? And then we watch this system off to the south there. It's a bit further south than what the GFS was showing. And we do have a brand new GFS model we're going to look at here in a moment. But you can see this one track across through southern Oregon into Idaho and then Montana, where there's Arctic air hung up as well. So big snowfall amounts here for eastern Oregon, Idaho, and Montana, where that Arctic boundary lies. Now, when I show these 500 millibar heights, I've showed this for the last couple of days now at 18,000, or well, 500 millibars is approximately 18,000. That's not an exact elevation level you should think of when you think of 500 millibars, but it's right about it. So when you're looking at that, and I'm showing you these polar lobes moving around, cooler, more dense air, lower heights, trough. Warmer, less dense, higher heights, ridge. So that's what I'm showing you when I'm showing you that map that I just went over. And in fact, I'll back that up a little bit and we'll go ahead and take a look there. So yeah, there's the trough, the polar lobe versus the ridge, as you get down to the warmer heights off to the south in most cases. Now, taking a look at the accumulated snow depth here on the European. So as we scroll through tomorrow, let's see what happens here. You can see you get some for Tacoma, Olympia. When you get the blues there, you're getting up over 2 inches. This is snow depth. This is not the 10-to-1 ratio. So this is not, this is more of a conservative value. You can see Southwest BC still getting it. They didn't get too much today, but it still shows them getting up over 6 inches by the time you get through Sunday night. And then right south of SeaTac South, it keeps showing some kind of band out towards Vashon, 1 to 2 inches maybe hitting there. Big amounts, Highway 101, forks out there for the coastal areas, the whole snow forest as we go through the day tomorrow and Monday. And then we'll scroll off in towards Tuesday morning. You still see some of these snow values going up. Call ahead if you're flying out of SeaTac on Monday. Definitely call ahead if you see active precipitation ongoing. It doesn't take much for that snow to stick on plane wings. Even if you're driving and the cement is bare and wet, if you see snow showers ongoing, that means de-icing. That means delays, and those delays can get very excessive very quickly at SeaTac or Everett or Portland International, or Spokane for that matter, wherever you're flying out of. Now, taking a look at 100-meter wind speed. So here we go through tonight. So you can kind of see why we got the convergence zone tonight up, or actually, let me back that up. There we go. We're right about there. Yeah, we're in the right place. So the convergence zone activity up towards Arlington tonight. You got the southwesterlies, and you got kind of the west-southwesterlies coming through the Strait of Juan de Fuca, meeting up towards Arlington as we go through this evening. There it is right there. And then as we go through the day tomorrow, we still have the southerlies going on, but as we go through the night hours, notice how things start to turn easterly out of the Fraser River Valley, and we start to lighten those winds as we go through Sunday night into Monday morning. And by Monday, really the big onshore influence will come to an end. You notice the winds down here across southwest Washington out of the southeast. You got the northeast winds coming through the Fraser River Valley. And kind of light winds here across the Puget Sound. That will allow us to cool off a bit. And we'll be watching for remnant convergence zone activity, especially with the wind flowing out here. It's always difficult to know how this is going to interact. And I've seen cases in the past where we're not expecting much snowfall at all, or they say just flurries. I can remember one time, I think it was in 1996, Kent East Hill, and all of a sudden this little band of convergence just set up, and I'm not kidding you, we got 3 inches of snowfall, very disruptive, coated everything, and we weren't really scheduled to get much. So, when you get the cold air in here and there's an upper level low around, you can get some interesting stuff and some interesting convergence action ongoing. I've even seen where the wind is coming out of the east and we had somewhat of a reverse convergence zone through the Stampede Gap. And I think it was the Stevens Gap, maybe. But I was living somewhere around Renton at the time, and we were getting, I kid you not, an east wind event. We were getting some reverse convergent activity, and it was actually coating the ground with some snowfall. So if we look at the European, I'm going to scroll out as we go on in through the day Sunday. You can see these showers moving through. This is a 10-to-1 ratio. So you can see there's going to be these showers passing through. And I want to remind you guys here that it doesn't take much to make things slick. And stuff like what was going on a couple months ago where we had big glare after a shower moved through and you had a huge 50-car pileup because people can't see when they're driving on I-5. That's one of the threats that could be existing tomorrow. That was ongoing today as well. We didn't have the big car pileup that I heard of, but watch out for dangers like that, especially in the early morning and overnight hours. These things are going to get, the roads are going to get very slick in the upcoming days. And then you can see as you go through Monday night into Tuesday, these little bands of convergence and stuff when the temperature is below freezing, extremely disruptive for SeaTac or I-5. Areas that are underneath these bands of snowfall. So heads up, watch out for this. And that's why I will do a live stream or two over the next couple of days. And I'll do my normal briefing tomorrow as well. But now if we take a look at 2-meter temperature, so I want to show you the threat coming up here. Now we go into the overnight hours tonight and tomorrow. You can see places do fall below freezing. It could be slick. A lot of precipitation was out there and still on the road. So watch out for that black ice. It is absolutely treacherous. Now we go through the Sunday morning hours. We will get some of that heating as we go through the day. But look at by the time we get towards Sunday night again, we really start to cool things off. You see these 20s showing up? That's a potential hard freeze. Look it up towards Bellingham and Whatcom County. You're talking about 20 starting to show up. There's some teens starting to show up as we go through Monday morning. We warm up Monday again a bit, but by the time you go towards Monday evening, again, Seattle's below freezing. A lot of the area is going to just slam below freezing as you go on into Tuesday morning. Look at this, 23 for SeaTac. Look at these low 20s. Again, another hard freeze. Very slick conditions out there. And as you can imagine, as we go through this upcoming week, we're going to continue to do the same thing. There we go into Wednesday morning, very cold. There's Thursday morning, and then Friday morning, still very cold. Even some teens out there in the outlying areas. Now, if we take a wider look at things, I don't want to just concentrate on Seattle. This is Pacific Northwest Weather Watch, right? 2-meter temperature. So we're going to scroll out, and we will see that as you go on in through Monday, of course, you start to drop those temperatures down. We start to turn things a bit more offshore, and we lighten up the winds a bit. So as we go on in through Tuesday morning, you see things in Willamette Valley are very cool, eastern Washington and Oregon. And then as we go on in through Wednesday morning, let's see what the temperatures drop down to. This white line is below 0 Fahrenheit. Starts to creep down into Washington as well. You can see eastern Oregon pretty chilly by Wednesday morning. I mean, look at these temperatures here. And then you go on into Thursday morning, eastern Oregon, nice and cool as this next system will track across that area. Now, this is 24-hour 2-meter temperature change. So this is basically the difference between noon today on Saturday versus noon tomorrow. Colder temperatures, widespread across the area, easier to stick into the lower elevations. And it was slick in places at times today already. So it's going to be cooler tomorrow. And again, I mentioned the roadway glare there. Be careful if you're out and about during the daylight hours and these showers are coming through and all of a sudden big glorious sunshine comes out there and I-5 is wet and you're driving on it. That's where we got that pileup. I think it was a month or two ago on I-5. And again, these freezing on surfaces, early morning, overnight hours, black ice kills a lot of people every single year. And again, check before you're flying out. Snow sticks easily on plane wings before it sticks on cement. Now, Quileute Airport over the next few days, you can see as you go through the warming and the diurnal cycle versus the nocturnal cycle of the overnight lows dropping below. Same thing for Portland. And then Seattle as well. Look at Bend, though. Oregon, eastern Oregon. You drop below freezing here as you go through tomorrow morning, and you pretty much stay there all the way on into the upcoming week. Now, the GFS, this is hot off the presses. Let me update this bad boy. We got the 0Z data. This is just come in, and we are going to compare it against the 18Z GFS. So this is our close pass tomorrow with our polar vortex here right off our coastline. And still, you can see the precipitation being created. And this is the atmospheric river. Now, let me back that up a little bit here. So this is as we go through tomorrow morning. You can see southern Oregon, eastern Oregon, get some nice snowfall amounts. Probably a little bit too warm for Boise. They don't have any winter weather advisories up right now. There's an Arctic boundary across western Montana. Then you can see this bounce around and start to lift north as we go through the day on Monday, potentially lifting up into Washington. Upper level low is still here. We're still spinning some of this moisture across western Oregon, western Washington. Probably light amounts, but we're going to be cold enough, though, that could be disruptive. Even an inch would be disruptive. And then you see the system, again, moving eastern Oregon, Idaho, and Montana. Very cold air back here across western Montana at this point. And then the upper level low is spinning. What happens after that? You can see the next round of Pacific moisture coming up. But again, in the meantime, I don't want to just gloss over this because this upper level low, look at this. This is uptrended tonight as you go through the day Wednesday. This is the Willamette Valley. Is probably the best chance for snowfall so far as you go through the day Wednesday and into Wednesday night. Some moderate snow showing up there for western Oregon and at times trying to creep up into western Washington. And then this next system comes into northern California, spreads moisture north. That could also be a snowmaker for the Willamette Valley. That could move into some of western Washington, eastern Oregon, Idaho, and then up towards western Washington as you go through Friday. So we are going to have multiple rounds of snowfall potential. I mean, look at that GFS. That brings it all the way up towards Seattle there. That brings it for Spokane, some of the Columbia Basin there as well. And then who knows what's going to happen after that. Man, we're looking far out there. But it's actually kind of a chilly system way out towards 240 hours there as well. So we may remain below average as we go towards the mid portion of the month. Now, 24-hour 2 meter minimum temperature. I'll just go out to a Monday morning here. You can see 30 for Seattle, 28 for Portland. Let's go to Tuesday morning. There's Wednesday morning, pretty chilly across the region. And you can see this, the bitter cold temperatures across BC, Alberta, portions of Montana, northern Washington, northern Idaho. There's Thursday morning, 25 for Seattle, 26 for Portland. It's going to be single digits out here across eastern Oregon, single digits for the Cascades. Friday morning, 28 for Seattle, 25 for Portland. You're looking at maybe 10 degrees there for Friday morning in Spokane. And yeah, that's where the European, the 18Z run ends. Ben is also live right now. He's up in Arlington. I think he saw some people who are having some trouble with traction out there, but you see how this was accumulating. It looks like he's not in the active precipitation right now. And if you want to help support storm chasers, he's one of the storm chaser family here across the Pacific Northwest. You send people on Facebook stars. So I don't know how many viewers. He's got 111 right now. Let's see if you guys can end the video here. All I have to show you, and left is a 6 to 10 day, 8 to 14 day. But go ahead and try to jump on his live stream there. See if you can get him back up over 200 or 300 viewers. Doesn't look like he's getting much snowfall now. He may be repositioning also. So anyway, 6 to 10 day. This was actually put out today. And again, we're in that below normal there. I think we're in the 80th to 90th percentile there for below normal all the way through the 11th, 8 to 14 day. Let's see what that looks like. You see the below normal out there also. And I believe that's about the 70th to 80th percentile. But anyway, yeah. I had fun out there today. It would be a bit more interesting out there tomorrow. And again, we have the potential through the upcoming week as well. So I'll do my normal briefing tomorrow. I'll kick this video out here now. Hope you guys are having a good rest of your night, and I will talk to you guys later.